Hey, Layla.
Hi.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, are you kidding me? We're all so stoked that you're here.
Thank you.
The choir stoked, yes. Wow. The studio
The quiet
audience.
choir. Thank you. Thank you.
Studio audience goes crazy.
Thank
Where
you.
are you from, Layla?
I'm from Chicago.
From Chicago. And so would you say that the Chicago music scene is foundational to how you approach music?
For sure. I mean, I grew up in the 70s and 80s in Chicago, and it's a city that's rich in culture and rich with the blues. And so many of the musicians that mentored me before I ever met them, or the musicians I grew up listening to, a lot of them are from Chicago. Chaka Khan, Earth, Wind and Fire, Herbie Hancock. I mean, the Emotions, Donny Hathaway. There's so many great soul singers and musicians that come from that part of the country, for sure. I rep my city, though.
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah.
As you should. And can you speak to, is it tumultuous growing up with a bar like your family has?
No, because I don't think it's seen in that way when you're growing up, or it wasn't to me seen in that way when I was growing up. I mean, we are all musicians. I have a mother, father, sister. All four of us happen to be musicians. And so not really. It's just, it was always odd to me when other kids' parents were not musicians. So it seemed very natural to me.
As you've navigated your own artist project, how have you worked to differentiate yourself from kind of the legacy that precedes you?
Well, I don't have to, because I am me. You know, and I think that's the biggest thing is I decided long ago that, I am an actual living, breathing person that has their own path. So I never really have to worry about differentiating myself or being like or being unlike. That's not a part of what I do. I think that the good part is that I'm a woman, and so no one expects me to be Donny Hathaway, even though sometimes they feel like they hear him. But I'm very aware of the legacy. I'm very aware of where I come from. I mean, I come from the greatest singer ever, so I don't even really have to work like so hard, because I know that it's in me, and that has nothing to do with me. So that's not even really a part of my expression at all. Like differentiating or competing or comparing, I never have to do that. I can be super comfortable knowing that I'm a singer that came from the greatest singer that ever lived. It's really nice.
Comfortable is a crazy word for you to use for that, but I'm with you.
It is.
It's not comfortable to listen to that. I can tell you that. Oh my God.
It's a privilege.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, not to knock my own dad. He can cover the shit out of Toby Keith, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's maybe on the same level.
But you'll never have to compare yourself to your father, because you know that you're on your own path, and without him, there's no you. So you can just keep it moving forward.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So in the words of LALAH Hathaway, straight from the source, what would you say is a part of your project that separates you from the other artists that you said were foundational to your upbringing?
My whole experience. And these are questions that you have to ask out loud, but the answers are so obvious. People say, like, well, what's the difference between this record and that record? It's the time. It's the place. It's the way I see the smoke filter through the air. It's the way someone greets me in a parking lot. It's the way I look at myself in the mirror. It's all of these things that make me me. And we all have all of those little nuances that set us apart. And the magic is, for me, really to find the nuances that make me who I am. All the little quirks and little things, that make me who I am. So I don't worry about differentiating myself from the next, because I am me. There is nobody, I'm the greatest of all time. You are the greatest of all time. There is nothing in your lane other than you. If someone's in your lane, it's because they're trying to get in your lane. If you're on your path, you can only go forward, and there's nothing else in your lane. That's how I feel about it.
No, I love that. So with that being said, what would you say are some of your goals moving forward?
To continue evolving. I want to make records like that are great, that last forever. I really love being 35 years into this business and feeling like it's year 2 or 3. I really love the fact that music is so important to me that I never feel jaded doing it. That on the day I die, I will have to say goodbye to music like I have to say goodbye to the rest of the people in the room. I really love creating art with people that love creating art. It's really what gets me up in the morning.
It's a testament to your instrument too, that you can evolve like that.
I love it.
Yeah, I'd say. You're not like hella pigeonholed.
No,
like
I mean,
somebody might be.
I think some would try to do that, but I think I have made it impossible for people to do that. And not so much on purpose, because that is who I am. I would like to make records with Terry Lynn Carrington and Kendrick Lamar and Esperanza Spalding and, any host of people that are not necessarily close at all. But to me, I think that the thing I try to stay in touch with is quality. You know what I mean? Just great musicians. And I think that all of that rubs off on me. I have done a lot of collabs in the last 35 years, and most of them are somewhere streaming for some percentage of a penny, but you can find them. I'm a lot of places.
I got you. So tell me, if you were to speak to some of the up and coming teeny boppers in Chicago, Pennsylvania, whatever, what would you say are some of the struggles that you went through on your journey that people might be able to avoid with the right advice?
That's a hard one. I mean, I can only speak to the music part, because my struggles are my struggles. There are things that are going to show up as trials and tribulations in every life, and everybody is just, you're not going to avoid them. You actually will start to look for them so that you can figure out ways to get over them and put those in your back pocket. Musically, I have not really hit any strife because I will not allow it. I'm really focused on growing my craft and growing what I do. I am a student at heart, always. I'm always learning and listening to new music and learning new music and meeting people that do it and trying to figure out how they do it. So really, just stay open. Stay open. There are trials. There are tribulations. Use that towards your art,
Totally.
Don't try to avoid trials. They're coming. They're coming for you.
Oh, I like that. Don't try to avoid trials is good to me. Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah.
Maybe on a more personal note, I've always viewed, maybe not always viewed, but the Grammys definitely feel like this ceiling, maybe, or like this pinnacle of kind of musicianship, maybe, to, I don't know, you get this small town mindset and you're like, oh my gosh, the Grammys, that has to be the end. I'm so curious as to where your mind goes post-Grammy. You get the award, you kind of reach this summit, and then it's like, okay, what's next? Could you speak a little bit to that experience?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in a big city, and the Grammys were everything to me growing up. I was glued to the television on that Sunday when the Grammys happened. It was, it was like the biggest night in music, and all the people I loved in one room from all different, in the 70s and 80s, there was a time, you don't know about this time, but you could listen to the radio all day and not hear the same thing 4 times or twice. So there was a time when I could look at TV and see Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson and Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton and the Oak Ridge Boys and Whitney Houston. I mean, there was so much variety across the landscape of music. The Grammys, we know that that's the highest award you can get in music, right? But really what it is a cosign that your peers say, hey, we see you and you're doing a good job. I have always gotten that from my peers. And so the Grammys is like this cherry on top of a really lovely dessert. It's really lovely. Past that, I really like making music that people recognize as great music. My intent is to be the greatest. That is my intent. And so the Grammys are just one, rather large, but just one signpost that says, hey, we like what you're doing. I can't live my life by that. But it's so nice to be recognized by your peers. And in this business, as it is also ever evolving, it's hard to find your footing sometimes in this industry. So it is a little piece of inspiration that says, okay,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
If you could sit down with a little Layla in Chicago and have a conversation with her now, what do you think you'd say?
I'd say keep going. No matter what it looks like, Keep going. Don't try to avoid the trials because they're coming. I am a person that instinctively, I'm saying don't avoid the trials, but usually I'm trying to avoid all the trials. The point is, I would tell myself at that age, like, just flow. Just try and flow. Don't try to block because you tend to block a lot. Just let it flow. Just be the observer of the things that are flowing.
If your words today only hit my ears, I think it's definitely a conversation well had. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Thank you.
I also want to say on the camera that Layla is aging in reverse. So if anybody could help me figure that out, I would love help with that.
I don't know. I'm just lucky. I guess I'm just lucky. I'm just a student at heart. When I leave here, I'm gonna go home, play Mario, and that's what's gonna happen.
Mario Kart?
Yeah, and party.
Who do you play as? Who's your
I like
character?
Yoshi. I'm playing as my own me now.
Yeah?
I like Toad. I will play as Toad.
Toad.
Yeah.
Okay, the screamer.
Yeah.
All right. Heard. Layla, it's been such a joy to talk
Thank
to you.
you.
I'll brag about this for a long time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Can I give you a squeeze?
Yes, you
Give you
can.
a squeeze.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for being here. Studio sessions and exclusive content you're not going to find anywhere else. Follow, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and social media to stay up to date with your next favorite artist.